Hello, chatters. How we doing? I'm actually on time. I know how to do that sometimes. Anyways, other than being, I can only do one thing at a time, though. I might be on time, but we're not following the schedule. I can only do one. I can be on time, or I can follow the schedule. Pick which one you'd rather see. My cat is going fucking psycho, dude. Let me see if I can get one of them over here. Yeah, kitty, 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 kitty. Cat! She's not very happy about this. Mwah. Be a good girl. Cat! They do exist. You don't see them as much because of this, and also, I used to have my bed behind me on camera, and I don't anymore. It's actually next to me. It's right over here instead, so you don't see them as often. But we do have an enemy, a common enemy, you and I, that we're trying to defeat, and it's the fucking bird. On our very pacifist playthrough, we've got to kill the bird. We are gonna have to go through the initial cutscene again. Oh, okay, my cat is screaming in his zoomies. He does that. Sometimes I wonder if I have a cat or a demon that has possessed my cat. Cause he didn't always scream, but now he does, so who am I to judge? I play games for strangers on the internet. So, this is the last stream of the week. We won't be back until Tuesday next week. After this, I don't know how many attempts we're gonna be doing. It depends, how long I stay sane. Now, bar me rage quitting or beating the fight and finishing it, the attempt, will be that the stream is around 2 hours. Genuinely, I think it might take that long to, beat this boss. It really depends on how fast I lock in. So, I'm not gonna make you guys wait. We're just gonna fucking get into it and pray. Right. We are gonna have to go through this whole cutscene again. But that's okay. Where she turns herself into a fucking boss monster. The second... Dude, I called from the beginning that we were gonna have a fight with her up here. The fact that it's the final boss fight, I did not call. I did, basically until we fought and killed Soroba, I did fully think it was going to be Soroba again. To be our final boss, but, Yeah, I don't... Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't really care. I've read through all of this before. Yeah, I knew she had the syringe. I assumed it was something to, like, knock out Clover, not that it was the fucking boss monster serum. Though I don't know that there's a world where I would have assumed it was the fucking boss monster serum. I do think, like, bar none, the best boss fight has been, Pacifist final boss Soroba. It was, what, A Mother's Love? I think that's the best one that we've gotten. And really none of them have compared to it, but that is okay. Moment of remembrance is taken. I don't really know what that means. But we're just... We need to dash more. I remember that from last time. I do need to dash more. The beginning of this is obviously going to be a lot of me learning what the fight is in the first place. Because I don't really know. But the reason that I'm mostly fixated on the idea of dashing more is because we watched Final Boss Saroba. We forgot to do Genocide Saroba no hit. See that? Watched Final Boss Saroba no hit, and the biggest thing that made a difference that they did that I didn't do is fucking dashing constantly. So that's what we gotta focus on. I might turn on auto fire. I've done it before. I did it in Saroba's fight, where I used auto fire sometimes, and frankly, I have no shame. I'll do it again. We'll go again to kind of see what we're working with. Actually, yeah, no, just kill me. I lied. I was like, we'll go again to see what we're working. No, we're just gonna turn auto fire on. You can turn it on and off while in the fight, and we'll see. We'll see. Because I did use it with Saroba. Because it helps. There's a lot of things to focus on. I can't dash yet. Okay, so I read all of those backwards. It'll help me be able to focus on dashing more, though. I should have healed. If that just focuses on... That does the attacking for me, and I can focus on dashing. I think we actually have, like, a solid chance. I'm fucking with the music. I didn't really listen to it much. I should have gone up. Okay. My mic is peaking really, really bad. But okay. We're gonna do that. Okay. With auto fire, this is going a lot better. We're gonna keep auto fire because I know myself. I know my limited skill level, chat. We're never gonna pretend like I'm doing this the hard way. I was hitting the wrong button. I kept hitting C. We're gonna run out of heals. What the fuck is she doing? Fuck, dude, okay. You get about halfway, she just starts going crazy. You know what, so far the best part about this is the fact that Flowey's not saying shit. I went too early. So our job is to focus on the X button. That's our whole job is movement and X button. We let auto fire take care of the rest. I'm worried about getting the fight done. I ain't worried about doing it legit. Shit, we're going crazy style again. So she just does that halfway through. Come on! Okay. This fight is a lot more manageable than I was worried it would be, which scares me. Like, I fully think this is fully easier than the Sans fight. Because its gimmick is a lot more manageable. I went too early. Than, like, the Sans fight gimmick. Because Sans isn't necessarily a hard fight. Oh, I'm hitting fucking C instead. I need to stop doing that. What are my cats doing? Sans isn't necessarily a difficult fight. It's the fact that you have no invincibility frames that makes him hard. That's it. His gimmick makes him hard. You don't do damage the whole time, and he has no invincibility frames. But especially with the fact that they gave you auto fire as an option here. I want to be smart about the stuff that I'm, like, healing with. The enemy tries to persist. Well, who told her she could do that? Who approved that? We're gonna continue to do a lot of healing, and basically until, okay, we're half. Okay, so that's all the healing items we have. We're fucked. Damn it. What the hell? Okay. Dude. Kitty, no. Stop whatever you're doing, dude. Make sure I didn't mess up the screen too bad. No, we're good. Huh. Okay. This is a very manageable fight. Especially when a lot of your problems can be solved with auto fire and spam X. Which means that, well, you know, I might get hit. Like I just done. so much of it is avoidable. Hold on, they're like getting into something. Hey! Shoot me! Get out! Shoot me down! There's a set of like drawers built into my room that they like to try to break into, but I have things in there that I don't want them to have. Like my dog's ashes. Those are also in a box, but that's, you know, we don't want them to try to knock that over, and that would be sad. All over again? We have health, but let's heal anyway. Yeah, as long as they're not done, we can kind of spam through a lot of them. That attack is actually, like, incredibly easy, too. No! Fuck! I shouldn't have used that. I didn't mean to use that. I used one of the good ones way too early. Okay, we're at this attack. We don't need this. Can't I just, like, sit over here for this attack? Huh. Welcome in. God, it just starts getting rough. And then we're out of enemies. We're out of items. We're in a better position than we were last time we ran out of items. Oh, this bitch! You bitch! I hate this attack! Fuck! Okay. We got further in the attack pattern. I'm a little confused. This feels very doable. I was expecting this to be significantly more difficult, and it's just not. Okay, that was a little bit of a fumble there, but we're not gonna think too hard on it. That just doesn't feel worth doing. Okay. We just gotta keep going. We're almost at half. Oh, I see how to read those. Okay. I don't really know how to dodge that. I've got to be so for real. We are unfortunately out of items, though. This is where we died last time. There's so much going on. That's been the problem the whole time with all of the boss designs in this game is the fact that their bullet patterns are very, very crowded. And it inherently makes the fight less enjoyable. Like, there's literally no other way to put it. It just makes the fight less enjoyable to play. I love how I said I know how to read that attack type. And then proceeded to fail at reading that attack type. You literally don't even have to move. That's fucking funny. This fight has got to be longer than it looks, right? There's got to be like a phase 2 or something that I'm missing. This can't be it. I don't really know how I got hit by that, but that's okay. Okay. We're in a good position. We're almost out of heals, sure, but we're in a solid position. And now we're out of heals. But while being out of heals, we have very high health. And we're officially further than we've gotten so far, so. I keep getting fucking notifications, dude. Okay, we're not winning this. Especially not if I press the wrong button repeatedly. Oh my god! Okay. I'm understanding the fight better. I just gotta keep doing it. Understanding the fight literally just does not matter if you don't use that knowledge, I must say. Shouldn't have used that yet. Should have done that sooner. Okay. Just calm down. I just need to calm down and give everything time. I need to be more patient on the attacks so that I have a second to actually read what's happening and react instead of panicking. But I'm not reading the attacks, I'm panicking. And I need to stop that. I just didn't react to that one fast enough. That was pathetic. Wow. Okay. I'm behind. Why am I behind? Whatever. All we have left is like a really good heal, so we want to avoid using that until literally like the last second. Say don't panic. Welcome in. We're doing better than I expected. We are doing better than I expected. We are also using auto fire and I feel no shame for it. Yeah, they sure did. Oh, fuck. The thing that's throwing me off is that this fight actually, like, feels a lot easier than I thought it would be. It's difficult, but it feels like manageable. Like, this attack you can literally just sit here for. Okay. We're doing significantly better with auto fire than we were without it. I must say. This is an improvement. Damn. Autofire's helping because I can spend more time focusing on dashing and moving the fuck out of the way than firing. So we're doing more damage than I was without autofire. But even without autofire, it felt pretty doable. This is, like, just from a design standpoint. It's not just the autofire that I think makes it feel doable. It's because it doesn't have a, like... One thing about Martlet's character as a whole is that her attacks, even now, are very readable. The thing that's making this hard is the fact that you have to balance so many mechanics at the same time, not that it's not readable. Because it is... She is probably the most, like, readable boss in the game. In my opinion. So, it's not that... She's genuinely just so easy to read. There's just a lot of things happening at the same time that's making this difficult. But the reason that I say that it feels very doable is because it's not like with the Sans fight where his gimmick is like this new special thing. The fight gimmick is the same exact fight gimmick that every other boss has had. They didn't make unique gimmicks for the boss. Like, sure, Saroba had the blue thing, not the blue thing, sorry, I'm looking at a bunch of fucking blue. Saroba had the red thing, where she cut down on your health. But Saroba is also the most unique boss, I think. But other than that, every boss uses the same set of gimmicks. Like, it's the same gimmick every time. Their just general boss fight overall is different. So by the time that I'm getting to this fight, I have seen and dealt with this gimmick several times over. Like, it's not this big revolutionary thing. It's nothing new. It's just the same fight in a different format. Which I think is a little bit to the discredit of the creators, honestly. Because part of what made Genocide so fun, cool, and interesting in Undertale is that it relies on things you haven't seen before. Sans is the only one who fucks with your invincibility frames and just ignores them. You know, Sans attacks first. Sans just straight up dodges your attacks. Like, there's a lot of things that make it a difficult fight and an interesting fight. But this is just, she's using upgraded versions of her normal attacks. She's she's using upgraded versions of her normal attacks, which she already did the first time that we fought her. So this is like upgraded versions of her normal attacks. And we're using the same gimmick that we have used repeatedly throughout not only this route, because it was in Saroba's fight, but throughout the game as a whole. So it's not this like big new exciting thing. This really just doubles down on the sort of idea that I've held the whole time, where I like the story of this game, but the bosses leave something to be desired. Oh, I shouldn't have used that one. That one was 20. So, autofire's helping. But I could do it without autofire. I really just rather wouldn't. I think you learned that a few times before. Yeah. It's definitely been sort of an overarching theme through every route. It's a good story. I like the storytelling. I think that we had some excellent writers working here. Like, great writers who I think got the correct vibe for the type of story that Undertale tells you. They weren't character designers. They weren't. Yeah. Like, literally both versions of Saroba's fight, too. Not even just, like, either one of them that really stands out. I think that Saroba's Pacifist fight was actually probably the best designed boss fight in the game. And that fight was also bullshit. But it, at least, especially in comparison to these other boss fights, it felt less like a bullet hell disguised as Undertale. Because even in Why Not Use Items, I didn't have any. I ran out of them. You need to have the items to use them, I'm afraid. Okay, I was just standing in the wrong spot. There we go. Like, it's really unfortunate because I want to just like sit and talk about how this game is so cool and awesome. And it is. It is very cool and awesome. And it's a very impressive thing that I think it does a lot of things well. It does not... I don't like the fights. The boss fights aren't enjoyable. It's very much not a, like... It's not reasonable to expect the average person, because I think you should, especially when it comes to a game like Undertale, where yes, it's I don't think it's reasonable that you could put this game in front of your relatively average Undertale player and be like, yeah, you can come play this. No. Are you joking? Because even in Undertale, when you get to the end and you have your more, like... Yeah, I am a bit better than the average player, which I think also says something. I'm your above average player, and this is still hell. Yeah, I have successfully beaten every Deltarune secret boss, including... The thing is, one thing that I saw the whole time is people talking about how, like, I've seen this over and over again. Pink has even been nerfed a bit, but talking about how difficult Pink's fight is. It's the hardest secret boss in Deltarune so far. No, it's not. No, it's not. It just isn't. That is not the worst secret boss. I genuinely, I have to choose to believe that everyone that says that is joking, because Pink is not, like, by far is not the worst secret boss. Is it difficult? Yes, but that's the whole point. But I beat her fight for the first time on stream relatively quickly. Okay. Fuck, dude. But yeah, no, that you do have a point. I have beaten all of the Deltarune secret bosses, and we are gonna be we're gonna be doing Pink again. Helps if I press the right button. So I guess, yeah, I do suppose you can kind of take my, I'm a little bit of a trustworthy source if I'm saying that it's difficult. It helps if I actually read the attacks being telegraphed at me, doesn't it? Okay. Actually read the attacks, dude. Goddamn. Sorry if I am overall a little quiet throughout this stream, because I am trying to pay attention to what the fuck is happening so that I can dodge. God, that is so... Ugh. This fight, man. It is a fight, that is for sure. I'll give it that. This is a fight in the Undertale Yellow genocide route. I'll give it that much credit. That is true. You have to rely the fuck on these dashes or you're just screwed, dude. Her attack pattern's a little random, I think. I can't tell how random. I don't think it's been the exact same. Oh, we're doing this again? It's a different one? Dude. I was right at the end of that, too. I was right at the end of that. Okay. That's fine. This is fine. This is fine. I'm having a great time. I know what the attack is. I just hadn't seen it yet, so I like wasn't ready for it. But yeah, this is fine. I know what the attack is because it's not the first time that she's like done that attack. Should have gone up twice instead of over. Okay. Need to pay a little more attention to that. Last of the small heals. Okay. Could have done better on that. Last heal. We're at this attack again. Okay. You're literally... okay. I kind of don't like that. You're forced to dash. You literally don't have a choice repeatedly because there is, like, you either dash or you take damage. That's it. You know what? I wouldn't put it past them, and I think if that happens, we will put down Undertale Yellow without finishing the genocide route. I've gotta be so for real. We can watch the end of the genocide route. I will go find a video to watch the end of it. But I will not do it myself. There we go. Whoops. Out of small heals. There we go. I probably should have healed, huh? It's fine, because I lived, actually, so we're actually in them, though we do have no more healing items. What? Oh god. Of course there is. Well, I guess if it's checkpointed. am, however, gonna lose my mind right now. This is for sure not the run. We're so screwed, dude. Fuck! Hold on, let's enjoy the death music for just a second, why don't we? Deciding if this is worth it. Deciding if this is worth it. Looking at it, I don't think so either. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. For now, at least. I did some mining on camera. No, okay. So for now, at least, at bare minimum, we're gonna call it for the genocide route. What I will do, anytime that I'm bored and I feel like torturing myself, I will go and do this on my own time, and I will record myself playing this hell. So eventually, I might actually finish it, but for now, so whenever I feel like going through immense pain, suffering, and torture, then I'll go and I'll record that. However, until then, we're gonna call it for this here. What that means is that we are now going to, I'll update the schedule and everything, we're now going to be transitioning off of Undertale Yellow, which I think my complaints with it are pretty well known because I've communicated them the entire playthrough. But I think it's a very good story, and I enjoyed playing the story. I didn't enjoy the boss fights very much. I like the characters. I think the things that it was doing with the boss monster serum and wanting to find an alternative way to leave the underground but failing, I think all of that was really cool. cool story. And I think that for a fan game, I think it's really good, really well put together. It is a full thing. Yes! You're right, I haven't used enough clickbait in my YouTube titles. That's where everything's going wrong. So, I think it's a good story. I think it's lacking something in basically every fight. I think that the normal fights were fine. There was just, I would have liked to see more out of the axe. I don't know if that's, honestly, I think that's probably just coming from the perspective of being a Deltarune guy. Like, Deltarune is my favorite of the two. I've seen a lot of people who are like, Undertale's better because it came first. I'm like, I objectively think that it isn't better. However, you know. But I think from that's probably a more like Deltarune geared perspective, is I wish the axe had more weight to them, especially in the boss fights. But they really don't, which is what it is. But I think the story was good. I think the writing was good. I just think the fights left something to be desired. So, I may finish that off. Axe should be more useful. Yeah. It's been a minute since I've played Undertale in full, so that very well could just be how Undertale is. I have played Deltarune more and more recently. So that could just be Undertale, is the thing. And, you know, I'm coming from a Deltarune perspective where they do hold more weight. And they feel more useful. It very well could be that. It could just be that it is a Deltarune perspective, because Deltarune is inherently a better game, I think, personally. But, I don't know. I would have to play Undertale again to see if that is just, like, to 100% confirm if that's just how it is. I think it might just be how Undertale was. And it reflects that. Which, if it just reflects that, that makes a lot of sense. I understand why it's like that. And, you know, I'm coming from a perspective later down the line where the next Toby Fox game is just better in that regard. Then it would make a lot of sense. But that's all we're gonna do for Undertale Yellow for now, at least. We might revisit it and finish Genocide. But starting next week, like I said, I'm gonna change the schedule so that this is on there. We're gonna be starting our Chapter 5 100% playthrough. Yes, that is exactly what we're doing next. I have all of our lists made. I have the guide ready. All of that stuff is ready. And that is what we are going to be starting in this time slot. This time slot is supposed to be Zelda. I just did this anyway. In Undertale Yellow's time slot, we're going to be doing the Chapter 5 100%. Which, those YouTube videos are still being, like, worked on. Don't worry. As a, like, edited down version, we have, Chapters 1 and 2 actively up. Good old editor Plink had some stuff going on, hasn't been able to edit for a minute. I'm not going to say what. If he anywhere decides to do that himself, that's his own thing. But that's Plink's thing. I'm not touching it. I do not have the skills to even try to replicate how he's done on those two videos. So, YouTube is still being worked on. It's just slower, especially because I edit slower than Flink does. He edits faster and better than I do. I edit a lot slower. So, just all of that in mind. So, YouTube is still being, worked on. It's not completely abandoned and never gonna be posted on again. I just do a lot more stream things than I do YouTube. I basically, when I'm working for content, I'm working on the stream stuff. Because, I'm working on getting us new scenes, new stuff. Ignore the Spotify ad. Look in my eyes, chat. Ignore this. Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. Hold on, chat. Jingle, jingle, jingle. Ignore the spot. Jingle, jingle, jingle. There's no Spotify jingle. There's no Spotify ads in Bossing Sang. Jingle, jingle, jingle. There's gonna be another one. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Tu música te acompaña en cualquier situación, tanto si te quedas de chill en casa, como si sales a comerte el mundo. Con Premium puedes
things are being worked on.
música con mayor calidad.
But yes, Deltarune Chapter 5 100% is next. I am actually going to get back to playing Subnautica one of these days. It's on the schedule. It'll be done. It'll be done eventually. And then Zelda, obviously. Which, Zelda is a really funny, like, double-edged sword for me. Because Zelda is the first thing that I started doing over on YouTube. So, I started making Zelda content before anything else, and I am arguably, I do variety. I do variety, but when it comes to my audience and what people mostly show up for, I am arguably an Undertale Deltarune creator. No. I have considered doing some hitless Deltarune bosses. I'll probably, like, it's on the table to learn the secret bosses hitless. And I mean learn it. Things that are on the table that aren't, like, active things that are necessarily planned, because I do have, like, a content planner. Where I have sort of lists of all of the things that I want to do, and then I usually just know what the next thing for each time slot is, not super, like, I couldn't tell you what's after the Chapter 5 100%, like, confidently, because I haven't decided yet, because I only plan one in advance, honestly. Now, mind you, it won't be, since it's now, like, going to be in that slot, I'll probably have it figured out pretty soon, but either way. It's not planned super far in advance. But things that are on the table that haven't directly been, like, talked about is doing hitless secret boxes, I think would be fun. A nightmare. It would suck. I'd hate every moment of it. It would be fun, though. And also learning speedruns for Deltarune, I think could be fun. Because it's not a super long speedrun. It's, I have a cat assaulting me. Not really. Let me... I don't think it's a super long speedrun. What's really funny is that... Okay, no, not all chapters. Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah. For most chapters, the any % speedrun is about 30 minutes, except Chapter 5 is closer to an hour. That's insane. The any % for Chapter 5 is about twice as long as every other chapter. Right. I'd have to learn glitches and stuff. I think it could be fun. So, there is some stuff that's on the table. I do put Deltarune Undertale content first when I'm planning stuff to do. Like the Zelda thing, I'm just doing because I wanted to play Twilight Princess. So it's a thing we do on stream. And I have more people, even like, on average, if I were to schedule Deltarune to be played on these days, or Undertale, even, be scheduled, like, normally on these days, I have more people show up at the beginning of the week which is why we get Undertale first, and then I just start doing other things that I'm also interested in playing. So if you're ever like, hey, why is the schedule like this in particular? Because I play the things that people want to see when I know they'll show up. So if you want certain things in certain time slots, show up for them. They'll get put there, I promise. But, all of that aside, this was torture. I hate you, chat. You're my worst enemy. No. This was torture, but at least it was a little fun. I'll give it that. But I want to say a quick thank you to anyone who stopped by, said anything in chat, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. You guys are why I come, and I do these things all the time. We will be breaking for the weekend. It's Saturday. But we will be breaking Sunday, Monday. As per usual, we will be back on Tuesday, where we will be starting that Deltarune 100%. It'll be fun. I have my lists ready. We're gonna have a great time, chat. We're gonna have the best of times. I promise. But all of that aside, at the end of the day, all that really matters is that I will be seeing you next time.